But
Whatever.
this is an amazing achievement because it brought together the Disney characters and the Warner Brothers characters. Bugs Bunny
Finally.
and Mickey Mouse get to share the screen. Donald Duck and Daffy Duck.
They really show you
get to
their
share the
overlap,
screen.
don't they?
And it was conditioned. Warner Brothers insisted like this. They have to be co-equal. They have to be equal billing, and they can't upstage the other. So like the dueling ducks are equally good at piano. Mickey and
equally bad because
Bugs.
that's part of the joke.
Yeah, Mickey and Bugs. No one gets like a bigger, better joke.
I never thought as Mickey and Bugs being on the same level. No one seems equal to Mickey. But yeah, okay.
Well, so
he's annoying.
He's just a corporate mascot, but when he was
a corporate shill.
Yes, before he sold out, he was selling out theaters.
Those aren't even real carrots. Movie carrots.
We're talking about Mickey.
Oh fuck! I don't mind Mickey.
What?
Bugs Bunny aggravates me. He knows where Albuquerque is.
Okay.
Fucking liar.
Before,
yeah,
Mickey was the mascot for Disney, where that was his main job. He was the star of animated short films, just like Bugs Bunny was, and he was a little stinker, just like Bugs. He was up to a lot of mischief.
True.
He was angry.
He really got his shit together.
And then he got his shit together, and got a job in a nice office building, and became a grown up. But they were equal stars back when they were both doing their thing.
Yeah, Mickey just expanded his thing.
He expanded his thing. Whereas the Looney Tunes...
Disney's expanded their thing. Looney Tunes was more important. That's what I watched. Mm-hmm. Disney I could not afford because you had to pay. Mm-hmm. So...
the Looney Tunes were definitely relevant in a way that Disney cartoon, like the classic Disney cartoon shorts, were not.
Absolutely.
These were, like, when you were watching Looney Tunes as a kid on TV, you're watching stuff from the 40s, 50s, and 60s.
It holds up.
You're not doing the same thing with Disney animated shorts.
Exactly.
But do you feel like Macy, who loves cartoons, and even loves the classic Disney cartoons, I don't think she cares about Looney Tunes. She has no...
She would if she saw it. She loves the Pink Panther.
But they're not around anymore.
Oh, no, but she loves that style. Like, she definitely liked the animated parts, like the opening scene.
Sure. Yeah, she does watch... She'll get on YouTube and just watch Pink Panther shorts.
Yes.
And, like, Popeye.
Yes.
And the classic Mickey. She's cool. I just...
She can sink her teeth in.
I say a lot of bad things about her on this
do.
podcast.
No,
but she's
cool.
all right. So, Roger.
I'll bet there's a movie to talk about in here
There's
somewhere.
so much to talk about.
Is there?
Sure.
Okay.
Because we haven't even gotten past the part where it zooms out and Roger's in a real refrigerator. Cut!
Is it real?
Cut!
Is
it really?
Is it real? It's an animated... That's what I'm saying. What's real and what's not? It's a tune.
No, it has dimension. It's a physical object. And I guess the tunes are too, but it's not animated.
That's
true. But it does
but
look different.
That is weird. That's the only time they do that.
So I think this is kind of clever. They designed something that looks like it's designed to look animated if you filmed it. But when you then spin around it, you're like, oh, look, it's just a prop.
Okay, but when you watch the animated scene, he's not running around that kitchen. They just made a duplicate in the real world.
But you're supposed to think that he was running around that kitchen.
Yeah, that's why it's movie magic.
But which movie are you talking about? Are you talking about the movie within the movie or us?
Whenever you're watching the short, that is animated. That was drawn. That kitchen is not real. And then they cut, blah, blah, blah. And then they pretend, for the movie's sake, for the audience's sake, that, look, we film cartoons in real places.
All right, I want to tell a story.
Oh, God.
I saw the movie Signs, one of my favorite movies ever. A movie that I constantly have to stick up for. Because people shit talk it, but it's a great movie.
Oh my God.
I saw it in a movie theater with my father. And
brag.
Afterward, I was sitting in the car with my dad, and I said, but Dad, they never explained how the aliens made the crop circles. And my dad says, trick photography. And I was like, no. I'm not talking about how the filmmakers made the crop circles. But remember, in the movie, how did the aliens make those crop circles? And my dad says again, trick photography.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, no, I'm saying within the reality of the...
aliens use trick photography too. That's what
he was saying?
Yes.
God damn it. I need to go apologize to him. I called him a fucking idiot.
Oh, right.
And I smacked his ass with
your
with
A+
hammer.
report card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's what we just did. In the reality of the movie, the kitchen isn't animated.
I know. Oh, we did just do that.
Yeah.
Well, then you didn't ask your question correctly.
I don't remember what my question was.
Who could? I can't follow this fucking trail.
Roger was designed to have to be like a greatest hits. The Roger the character is designed to be a greatest hits of all the classic animation styles and characters. So he's got like Mickey Mouse gloves. Yeah. He's got a Bugs Bunny face.
I find his outfit very distracting.
He has these other... I can't remember all the other stuff. But he does... It's hard to us, like, he is a classic character, so it's sort of hard to disentangle what he looks like.
He's overdone, though.
You think so?
That's what I noticed this time around. Like, you put him in this simplistic world. It's not simple. The animation is very like to the point, and characters were drawn very simplistically with very few clothing pieces, on purpose to make them efficient to draw. He is very elaborate, more so than any other character I can think of. He's got a bow tie, suspenders. He's got baggy pants. He's got a patterned... I guess the pattern is on the tie. He's got a big bottom half. He's not naked.
It's true, whereas Bugs
His hair is ruffled.
is naked, right?
Bugs is completely naked.
Yeah.
All of them are. Warner Brothers knew how to cut corners.
So do you think like if you went back in time and
you know what,
Roger
Yosemite
Rabbit,
Sam would be the only one that's maybe got as much going on, but even that's less.
And you got to think Roger Rabbit is a big... Oh wait, Roger Rabbit's a star in the movie, right?
How do you mean?
In the book, the point of the book is that Roger is not a star, but he wants to become a star.
Yeah,
That's why he does his thing.
He is known. Betty Boop, remember, she says, "Yeah, what a lucky girl," because she's married to Roger Rabbit. He's a star.
But she's talking about his reputation in the business. Is he selling tickets to ordinary Americans?
The fuck are you talking about? What star sells tickets?
Is he... Okay, yes, it does say a Roger Rabbit and Baby Herman cartoon.
Are you saying
he is supposed
that...
in this world, he's supposed to be as big as Bugs Bunny?
I don't even think Bugs Bunny's a thing in this world. So yeah, Bugs Bunny's just some guy.
Is he supposed to be as big in this movie as Bugs Bunny is in our world?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
He's a star.
You answered my question.
That's great.
So,
But don't you think Toons are more starstruck by him, not people? People
sure.
find Toons to be below them anyway. No human seems pumped to see him.
Right. And then, but that's also supposed to be like part of the joke is Roger Rabbit has the hottest wife in the world. She's like, I'm so turned on by Roger. He's such a man. He knows what to do.
Okay.
And, Betty Boop says, what a lucky girl. And everyone loves this guy. He's beloved by all the Toons.
Right, which is perfect for that Frank... Oh, never mind. I was like, yeah, the Frank Grimes metaphor that we heard in that little documentary thing we watched. But that's not true. That was for Forrest Gump. But...
We watched this just to clarify. We're watching this video. We'll link to it by Patrick Willems. Patrick Willems does these great YouTube video essays on movies, and he did a really long video on Robert Zemeckis' career that we watched, and he had this theory that Forrest Gump is like the episode of The Simpsons with Frank Grimes.
Right, but I'm picking up parallels now to this, that Eddie does stand in for the straight man, for the person who's just trying to get their job done, and Roger makes it fucking impossible. I remember as a child being really mad at Roger.
Really?
Like, just be quiet. This guy's trying to save your life, and you're being an asshole.
He does seem like
and
your
then
worst nightmare.
you keep on asking him why he can't lighten up, because you're gonna die, you idiot. And then you're gonna beg him to save your life, and then you're gonna get him killed too. He's got a bad reputation to begin with. Ungrateful. And then it's like at the end, it's all about making Eddie silly again. Well, I'm glad that happened, but he got the job done.
So
Roger just made it harder to do.
Did you dislike Roger as a kid?
No, it's hard not to like him, but I knew I didn't want to be his friend. He seemed like too much.
I remember watching the movie with other kids whose whole thing was like would just rewind again after the end of the short, because that's all they like. They just wanted to watch the toony parts of the movie.
Oh,
they just want to watch
Nerd
Roger
alert.
being funny. I think I gravitated toward the mystery. Like, oh, what a solid mystery this is. What a good.
I like the reveal at the end.
It's a parody of Chinatown. The great thing about Chinatown, the movie Chinatown is it's all about land deals and dummy corporations, and the villain's big plan is like, I've purchased a different water company, and when it's all over, I'm going to control 60% of Los Angeles County's water supply. And, and Jack Nicholson's like, but why? And he's like, because I love money.
Right. I'm Harrison Ford.
Because there's something so low stakes about it all, which is what's great about... I mean, it's not low stakes.
Not if you're a Toon.
Maybe that's one of the...
He wants to completely get rid of Toons.
That's why I then have to erase what I was going to say. Oh, right. No, he wants to do ethnic cleansing.
Right. Call it erasing if it's a Toon.
Let me get to the thing, the asterisk.
Please. About Eddie Valiant.
This is... And the movie in general.
Oh.
As I said, this was one of my 3 favorite movies growing up. And I probably went a long time without seeing it, and in my head, that whole time, I was thinking, that is an unassailable, unimpeachable masterpiece. It is a perfect movie.
It must have found its way into one of your movie critics' top something, then.
Yes, I totally took that opinion from Roger Ebert. I'm sure he gave it 4 stars, said, this is the first time animation and live action have been mixed so convincingly. He was right. This movie looks fucking incredible. I don't know how the fuck they did any of it.
I do.
And when I think about all the hard work that all the people who made this movie had to go through, I feel bad for saying what I'm going to say.
Say it then.
About 3 years ago, we watched Roger Rabbit. When we were done, I remember thinking, it's not as good as I remember. Mm-hmm. Okay, so jump in time 3 years to now. And what I was keeping in mind was the thing I thought 3 years ago. Okay. So we're watching the movie this time, and it's halfway through, and I'm like, I was an idiot. This is a perfect movie. This is one of the best movies ever made. This is a top 100 movie. It's great. And then the movie ends, and I remember sort of thinking the same thing. Like, it just kind of runs out of gas at the end. There's something that doesn't click for me, and I think I think that Eddie Valiant as a character doesn't work that well, actually.
Huh.
I think that's my big problem. I think that they do set up pretty sloppily that he was a vaudeville circus performer,
right? Yeah, you have to
used
really
to be so goofy.
You have to really watch those panning shots of him through his office to realize what a chucklehead he was.
Yeah, and that's just done so that he can do his stupid, goofy performance at the end to save Roger's life. And I just think that's pretty lame. I have no more sophisticated breakdown of it than I think it kind of comes out of nowhere, isn't very interesting. I don't think Hoskins does a very good job of it.
They take the straight man and they make him into a not as good goofy guy.
Goofy man, yes. I wish he were just an asshole the whole time.
Right.
In the book, he's an asshole the whole time, and it's funny. And Hoskins is so great as a grump.
Right.
That I don't want him to not be a grump.
Yeah, he can be like a little bit like nicer to Roger at the end, but just to completely go wacky.
Yeah,
does seem.
And give him a big kiss.
I don't care about that part.
And I'm saying
that part would have made more impact as a straight man.
Right. They should kiss, but he should be straight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I hate to bring this back to Harrison Ford, but it should have been played more like Harrison Ford's character in Pets 2.
Secret Life in the Secret. I was going to say in Star Wars.
No.
As Han Solo. No, in the Secret Life of Pets 2.
Yes, where he
plays Rooster, the sheepdog.
And he's, he cares,
but not that much.
Just for a second.
Yeah, he's like the main dog leaves. He had a bonding experience, and he's
the main dog.
Max, played by Patton Oswalt, formerly played by Louis C.K., and Rooster is like, I'm gonna miss that dog. And then, like, the real rooster is like, oh, or the turkey's like, oh, and he's like, no.
Okay.
I was having a moment, but it's gone. But,
great recap.
Dude, I just did think, what if Harrison Ford was in this movie as Han Solo, who's just fed up with it all, and kind of has the Han Solo arc, decides he does care after all, but he's still going to be cool and badass about it.
Right. He's going to care on his terms.
I can't believe I'm saying this, because I love Bob Hoskins, and I think he's great. And I think something doesn't totally work about the character, and that's why I give this 4.5 stars out of 5. What did you think this time when we watched it?
Well, you've ruined it for me.
Oh, sorry.
Just there. It moves. Like, I was super worried because anytime I just felt like the clock was ticking because I didn't want the kid to lose interest and ruin it for me. But but that never happened. So then I don't know, I felt vindicated for like, I knew this was good as a kid, even though this is clearly an adult movie. But, I thought it was good. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to go watch it again.
It's really, really good. And so the thing I was just looking for is this basically like one of the top 100 movies ever made, or is it one of the top 2,000 movies ever made?
I guess it's top 100, but I always have trouble weighing these things. Other people care so much more about like effects and cinematography, and I think I always notice when it's good, but the acting is really the acting and the writing is all I ever really care about.
Which is a sort of thing that actually not getting to me that's not connecting with me here.
Yeah. So I guess it's hard for me to give it more points because of the animation skills. This is why animators get no fucking rewards. But
because you're like,
I would have noticed if the
animation
animations.
A bunch of shit.
It's like IT. You don't notice it unless it's going wrong. Precisely because it was so good, it made me not notice it very much. And
it's true, which is the great compliment you could pay them. Like you don't notice that the cartoon characters have shadows on them, like had to be drawn on them because they're interacting with the real world.
Yeah. Did you know the shimmers in Jessica Rabbit's dress? It was an effect made by light shining through a plastic bag with holes popped in it.
I did not know that.
It's like all kinds of crazy things they have to do to get these things to appear on screen. There's lots of layers.
Like I said, I'm amazed any movie ever gets made, but especially an animated movie.
And it's
insane that people do that.
It's got to make you appreciate Hoskins
Uh-huh.
more when you realize he did all of that acting with a cardboard cutout of where that character would actually be. So he's sitting in a theater with a cardboard cutout of Roger Rabbit so that he can meet the eye line.
Mm-hmm.
But like he has to have all that emotion, all that.
He's great.
I mean, the one that's really hard to imagine doing with a cardboard cutout is when he's trying to hide the fact that they're handcuffed together and he keeps pushing Roger back into the sink.
Uh-huh.
How the fuck? I mean, he's interacting with.
Were they always using he's interacting with a cardboard cutout and they composite that out and replace it with the cartoon
that's how they know,
cell drawn on the.
That's how he knows how
film?
much to grasp the ears with his hand, so that the ears will fit in there when they draw them in. The cardboard keeps them just right, and then it shows it would have just been ears and a head. Like this, going in and out of the sink, not the whole body, because you wouldn't need that. Because all he needs to know is the parts he's touching and the parts he's looking at. So he's holding ears, looking at eyes. That's how, I mean, Sesame Street has been on for as long as I've been alive, and they still can't fucking get, those are real puppets. How are the actors not meeting the eyes? It never, ever happens. Professional actors can't figure out where giant plastic eyeballs are that you can see. So the fact that he could do this was amazing. So he's plunging a rabbit in and out of a sink that's not there, while he's kicking and lying to a weasel that's not there, and then reacting to weasels that are in the room that aren't there. I think that's amazing.
I'm reeling from the shots he fired at the Sesame Workshop at the fine live-action actors in Sesame Street, like Maria and Gordon. My God.
Those guys are dead.
Elmo,
I
Maria
enjoy
is dead.
Sesame Street. Thank you for another sidebar. It always takes me out of the moment when they can't seem to be in the right eye line.
And again, this makes me feel bad for criticizing
Good.
Hoskins, but it's not a criticism of him. I criticize Zemeckis. I blame Zemeckis.
That's
I think
easy target.
I think the tone kind of slips away from him at the end. But yeah, this is maybe the best performance of anybody interacting with a fake cartoon character.
You want to talk about the worst? Well, I guess I don't know, but whenever we watched this, we were discussing it afterward, and I was like, yeah, so I guess that's what Cool World was trying to do. And then you're like, cool, what? And that came like 3 or 4 years later, and I just remember, me and my dad liked Roger Rabbit, so we go to Blockbuster, and I see that, and I go, me and my dad can bond again, let's get this one. And it's not okay. I don't remember it, except for that it was not good. But fucking Brad Pitt's in it.
So...
Hot off of Thelma and Louise.
One of the great delights in life is learning things like this. I had no idea that such a movie existed.
Doesn't it have a 3 on Rotten Tomatoes?
Cool World is a 1992 American live-action and animated fantasy comedy. It's directed by Ralph Bakshi and starring Kim Basinger, Gabrielle Byrne, and Brad Pitt.
It's fucking crazy.
And so it was trying to go for
Adult.
it was
Well, it's got a noir vibe, if I'm not mistaken, or like some kind of like gangster. I don't know. I can't remember the plot at all. I just remember someone from outside the cartoon world gets yanked into it, maybe? But I fucking
so
don't know.
it looks like the person who drew the cartoons gets sucked into the world that he created.
That sounds right.
I
Yeah,
think
and he tries
Gabriel Byrne
to
plays the cartoonist.
he tries to fuck his, which is a complete ripoff of Jessica Rabbit, you can see, but they go the extra mile. I think this movie was written by a perv who just really wanted to see Jessica Rabbit naked, because that's, I mean, it wasn't this movie rated R, and they had to like dial it back to a PG-13.
They edited it down to a PG-13. But so this guy Ralph
uncomfortable.
Bakshi, the perv you were talking about, who is alive and can sue you for libel, or slander, I should say. In the 70s, he established an alternative to mainstream animation through independent adult-oriented productions between 1972 and 2015. Directed 10 theatrically released films. Blah 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 blah. His 1972 debut feature film Fritz the Cat was the first animated film to receive an X rating.
What an achievement.
I mean, I hear something like that, and I think that sentence was written to impress me, but like...
It does not.
I can't believe there's ever been an animated film that received an X rating.
It reminds me of what tweens used to do in my day when the internet was still a baby, and the kind of thing that would go around is like an MP4 of Donald Duck getting a hand job or something. I just remember I don't even know if that's really what it was.
No, but yes, there was a lot of that going on. Sorry.
I remember hearing those sounds and being so disturbed. I just didn't need those worlds colliding. It was unnecessary.
Uh-huh. But this guy was big into, let's push animation. It doesn't have to just be for kids.
Yeah.
Do
Oh, that's funny because Robert Zemeckis feels the same way. He tried so hard to make motion cap. Is that what it's called? Motion capture movies for adults.
Yeah.
It's like we don't want it. Stop. That I was just actually going to compare it to the Uncanny Valley. It's like there's where tunes are supposed to be, and that's happy, and then there's where adult stuff is, and that's great too. But then you mix those two too close together, and you've got something nobody wants.
Well,
which is very sexualized adult cartoons who are supposed to be. I feel like it's a little bit sinister because the cover art pulls in kids. I was attracted to it because I was a kid, and because it was soon after Roger Rabbit, soon enough that I thought it was something like that. And then I bring it home, and then it's completely sexualized, and I'm watching it with my fucking dad. Like, that feels wrong.
Okay, but who is the person who did the wrong thing?
My dad. He didn't read the back of the thing because he
yes.
can't read.
I mean, there's the MPAA who give you classifications of movies.
Was that a thing then?
Yes. If you want to rent Cool World, then your dad can look at the VHS box, and see that it's rated PG-13. It's not the people who made. It's not the filmmaker's fault.
Anyway.
I mean, like, if you're saying.
I don't know what I'm saying. I'm saying it's not for me. How about that? I'm saying it's off-putting.
Understood, but I want to unpack why you think
You just said it's understood. Why you want to understand?
Understood, but I want to understand. Like South Park, when I was in 4th grade, every kid in school was wearing a South Park t-shirt.
That is not what I'm talking about. I am not talking about animation that's for adults.
No, I know.
Well, then, shut up.
Let me keep talking.
Okay.
So, South Park was not a show for 4th graders. It was a show about 4th graders, and yet tons of t-shirts were produced for kids' sizes.
Size tiny, right.
So you could say, well, I do blame South Park for marketing itself toward kids. They know what they're doing. They know kids see this, and they're like, although that's a little different. Kids are attracted to South Park because they know it's bad. Whereas you're saying, you can see this, not know it's bad, and think, this is just like The Little Mermaid. I want to watch it.
Exactly. Because there's no reference point except for that Roger Rabbit existed, and that was a movie that I got to watch. And it was rated PG?
Yes.
Okay. So PG-13 sounds like barely a notch up.
Right.
But from my recollection, it is very different.
Uh-huh.
Not something you're going to watch with your fucking dad.
Yeah, if you do a Google image search, it's all this character, Hollywood.
Yeah, her name's even a sexual pun because, yes, she would.
Yeah, because it's spelled W-O-U-L-D, like the Alice in Chains song. Now, you Google image search this movie and you're just going to get tons of GIFs of things that she does in this film. These very pornographic things that this character does. But the movie was a giant bomb. I'd never heard of it, and I think of myself as, sort of informed about film.
We know.
So it failed. But
yeah.
What do you think of animation for adults generally?
I love animation for adults. That's what I'm saying. I have a slight problem, as it seems, with very realistic cartoons. I don't know. I mean, maybe because she's a very... I mean, Jessica Rabbit was almost too much for me to take. The boobs are just... I just wasn't ready for it. She's so sensual. Mm-hmm. It made me feel tingly, and I didn't understand. Sure. So it just seemed like... It seemed like too much power. An animator could literally make a female drawn like that do anything they wanted to do with her. And she even says in the movie, "I'm not bad, I'm just drawn that way." And that bothered me for some reason, that a male illustrator, cartoonist could have so much power over a female body that they
these were just men, and I'm sure
could
there were
make
no women.
Do and say whatever they wanted, and it just felt wrong. But they take it just to that point in Roger Rabbit to where it's like interesting. But then in Cool World, it's like, well, this is what happens when pervs are at the wheel. I guess it felt like... Again,
don't sue us, Ralph Bakshi, please.
Again, I don't know who the fuck he is. And that I'm not blaming just him. Or not even blaming. This is just why it feels like cheating. It's like, oh, you couldn't get a real actress to agree to do whatever the hell bullshit this is. Not that they're doing crazy dog sex or anything. It's just like... it feels like a little boy with too much time.
Is it that different from Alfred Hitchcock, like sexualizing Kim Novak in Vertigo or whatever, like, or what just male directors have done to women actresses since the beginning of movies? Is it that different?
Fine, but that was always adult territory, and adults couldn't watch an Alfred Hitchcock movie. That is for adults to decide. You drift into kid territory. That's like saying, I want to show the world that teeter-totters are for adults. I want to show the world that a treehouse can be... I'm just saying, you take something completely childlike, you don't do enough work to show how it's now drifted into adult territory, and then you just expect kids not to play with it. It's irresponsible.
Well, you do, because you assume that they're...
Why are you so mad?
I'm not mad at you. I'm not, I promise. I'm just... I don't want to be the person who's always like, no, but the integrity of the art, and the integrity of art is a pursuit, and you can't think of these things. The artist does have responsibility. But...
I'm not...
You do assume that there are gatekeepers out there who are going to take care of this for you.
Again, I'm not saying that this shouldn't be allowed. It should. I'm saying I don't like it. It rubs me the wrong way, and here's why I think it does. It feels creepy, not in a fun way.
Yeah, I largely agree with you.
Great.
I think it's...
I know that pains you.
I hate to agree with you. I really do. I think that's very interesting. We've never really talked about that. But
why would I have ever thought to bring it up?
You know
what I like and don't about very obscure movies from the late... Yeah.
Jessica Rabbit was a big sexual awakening for many people.
For me.
Not for me. I don't think for me.
I definitely... I mean, not because I was dating her or anything. It was like, oh... That's what my adult body is going to look like. I'm going to go up and down a curtain and go,
and for the listener at home, Lacey is wearing a pink sequin dress right now.
It's red.
It's red.
She's known
Excuse
for
me, I'm
wearing
not good with colors.
I actually don't know. Her hair is red. Maybe the dress was pink.
Like the Robin Hood, the Disney Fox Robin Hood was a big sexual awakening for a lot of people. I guess we haven't mentioned that Christopher Lloyd's in the movie as Judge Doom, the villain, who was a terrifying villain to kids when he gets run over and then gets reanimated or turns back into an animated.
I was always bummed out that I never got to see what the actual cartoon looked like except for his red dagger eyes, because he's wearing a rubber mask and he's completely covered up, and that's all his human, that's his human disguise. But I wanted, what does that cartoon look like?
Right.
Damn it.
I don't like that he's...
Dip too soon.
I don't like that he's the one who killed Eddie's brother.
It's a little too
way
neat.
too pat and doesn't serve any story. I mean,
No, it doesn't.
It's only there so that...
He can talk just like this!
Yes, just
Yeah.
like for that one line rating.
Yep.
But Christopher Lloyd's very good. He's very important to my childhood. Childhood is stupid.
Okay.
Charles Fleischer is the voice of Roger. He does a great job, and when they were filming the movie, he was behind the camera wearing a rabbit suit, reading the lines at Bob Hoskins.
Stop it forever.
And there's this very funny thing on the DVD extras where Fleischer is talking about how when they were making the movie, this movie got a lot of attention. It was a big Disney production, and they said they're going to mix in animated characters, and the main animated character is a rabbit, and he was walking around in his bunny costume, and some people on the street saw him, and they're like, that movie's going to look stupid. Because they assumed that's what
Right.
the movie's going to be, is a guy talking to a guy in a bunny costume.
That is.
But, there you go, Brittany. We talked about your stupid movie that we love, and we had a great time doing it.
We really did. I feel like we've reconnected.
I feel like
we should change our first name and last name to the exact same name. Let's just be Lacey Matt.
Roger, and Roger.
Yes. Roger that.
Roger that. Well, be like Roger and choose to laugh. Have a little laugh. You'll feel better.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.